Hi, everybody. Melanie Taylor here, the Director of Education at Eat, Breathe, Thrive, and I'm here on behalf of the four co-hosting organizations of the Yoga and Recovery Symposium, which is happening September 23rd to 25th. And today I am extra excited to be here with my friend Kristen Portland from ANAD. Kristen, we work together a lot through some of the programs that we share with our joint audiences called Yoga plus Recovery Chats. If you're not sure about that, you can check out our website. And so I've gotten to spend a lot of time with you. So it's a little extra special to be able to spend time today and talk a bit about you guys and the symposium. So thank you for being here. It's such a great opportunity to see you.
Yeah, Melanie, I was so excited when you told me about this. It's nice to talk to you personally, and also everything I get to do with Eat, Breathe, Thrive is always amazing.
Yeah. I want to give you an opportunity. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself and anything you want to share about ANAD?
I would love to. So, like you said, I am Kristen Portland. I'm the executive director of ANAD, and I am also one of our peer support group leaders. I sometimes pick up the helpline and talk to people who are calling in to get some support. And if you don't know this about us already, ANAD is the country's oldest nonprofit focused on serving people with eating disorders. And that really is our main focus, is on offering services. Our first and oldest service is our support groups. Right now, they are all completely peer run. Everyone running our support groups have recovered themselves, gone through our training, work with someone else in order to really curate a space where people can come across any stage of recovery. They're really easy to join. You just kind of click on our website, fill out a form. You can start joining the next day. We have a helpline as well. We do referrals, but we also just consider it a warm line. If you just need someone to talk to for a minute, you can give us a call. That is a service we offer, and I might be the one answering. You never know. And finally, we have a mentorship program as well. People who are, again, completely 100% peer recovered mentors. They are coming to us for training, and they get matched with someone who's still working towards recovery. They work together for 6 months and create some really, really beautiful relationships. And those are our main services. And there's a lot of other little things around if you're looking for information or education. Our website has all kinds of things, but those are the big ones.
Oh, Kristen, thank you for sharing that. Can't tell you how many times people tell me that they were supported by your group, and it's just really beautiful. And there's two things there that I want to point out. So I'll start with the first one: executive director, and also a support group leader, and also answering the phones. I think there's something really special about ANAD that we don't see as often. Maybe out of not able to, but I think it's really an important part. So what's it like for you to kind of be able to be on both ends of the spectrum? How does that support you as an executive director or support your organization?
Yeah, I think it's really important. Wherever it makes sense, we really encourage our staff to take on some of those volunteer opportunities as well. It's it's one thing to be behind the desk and sending all of the emails and going out and talking it up, but it's something entirely different to be in a room with people and they're listening to them, helping them support each other. I led a group this morning, and it's just such a beautiful conversation. I feel better when I leave. We don't lead the groups in that we don't tell them what to say. We're not giving them specific focuses. We're just holding space. We're making sure that it's a safe conversation, and we're bringing people together. And most of the time, I just get to sit back and watch people support each other. And it's amazing. It's like I always feel better after I leave, no matter how busy I am. It's an important thing to me to make that space to be there. And getting to pick up the phone as well, just having those really one-on-one conversations with people, again, across the whole spectrum, from am I sick to is my friend sick to, oh my gosh, I need a referral because this is my, whatever number time trying to get better. Like it's important people to talk to. And I think it really gives us clarity. It lets us know why we're there. And for me personally, it energizes me for all of the maybe not so fun paperwork parts of running an organization.
Oh, I so understand that. I also lead programs as well as work on this end. And I don't know how we would stay grounded in who we're working for without that connection.
Yes. I just did this month's yoga and recovery chats as well, which is always a really fun one to do.
Very exciting. I got loaded up today on YouTube, so you can check that out at the Eat, Breathe, Thrive YouTube. I know ANAD has that posted as well. And I heard from Janine, one of our facilitators that I know did that with you. Just adored working with you and holding that space together. It's yeah, I think that point of being able to hold space for healing and connection is such a powerful cup-filling experience.
I love it. Again, it's giving back, but I also feel like I get a lot from it, including some very nice, wonderful restorative yoga.
That's wonderful. The other thing I was sort of thinking about, like how I know ANAD and who I know you guys to be, one thing's always really stuck out for me, and that's your mission. Your mission statement is, our mission is to provide free support services. And I'm so taken back by that, that is what you are here to do. And that's what you're able to hold space for. And as you said, you've been doing that for 45 years. The second thing being, this is a support organization that is peer run and professionally supported, which you've kind of talked about, the sense that you're working with people who have been there, they've been through their own journey, but they've been in the journey of this. And what's that been like for you? I know you've been with the organization for a while, to hold that kind of space.
It's really powerful. And you're right. Our mission has always been to provide service and to keep it easy to get to, as low barrier to entry as possible. So many people have to fight so hard to get any level of care. Like the people we hear from on a regular basis saying, oh, my coverage got denied, I can't get XYZ. We don't want to make them fight. We want to be as easy to get into as possible. We want them to come to us, say, hey, I'm interested in the Tuesday group. Okay, here's the link. Go ahead. We want it to be simple. We want it to be accessible, which means being free. We don't get huge government grants. We're very, very donation driven, but our community has given in such a way that we can tell that it's important and valuable. And getting to see the growth, especially, like everyone else, I'm going to talk about the pandemic now, being able to pivot and still hold these spaces through that crazy time and into this future that we live in now. It's been pretty incredible. We were lucky, our mentorship was always virtual, but our support groups, when we took them online, it was really an opportunity. Since we do serve people nationally, we had lots of very small groups around the country, but now we have groups with real groups, more than just 2 or 3 people. And we have leaders and people who are connecting from, honestly, we get people from outside of the US as well. Like, well, you can still come, it's fine. And just getting to be able to serve in a different way there has been really powerful. Some of our groups we couldn't have done pre-pandemic. We have a group for teens, we have a group for older adults, a group for people in larger bodies, the BIPOC community, the LGBTQ community. If you're someone in a rural town in, some small city, you might not be able to get to any support group, much less a support group tailored to you like that. But keeping it virtual, we're bringing together a whole new set of people. So it's been a pretty incredible process to see.
I have goosebumps. I think what you pointed out there is the sense of community doesn't have to have walls around it, doesn't have to have a particular location, and this opportunity to really expand and the sense of making it accessible to everyone. There's an image for many people of what an eating disorder looks like and the type of body that it happens in. And that is a very small percentage of who experiences eating disorder or eating disorder being on the spectrum. So I love that you guys have held this beautiful space of accessibility for anyone, whether you think you're diagnosable or not, whether you're struggling to some nature that's available outside of community care. I think this is why community care is so important. Now, the symposium, we're going to talk a lot about community-based programs, and it's really important, especially after COVID. As you mentioned, we've got this sort of tsunami of people that need support. And medical systems that were already overloaded, already working really hard to meet the demand. So community care is really important, and such a grassroots organization like yourselves. I'd love to hear a little bit about that grassroots story from 45 years ago. Tell me a little bit how we got here.
So a little over 45 years ago, our founder, Vivian Meeham, started a support group in her living room in Highland Park in Illinois. And she started it because her daughter was ill and she just didn't have any support at the time. And back then, people with eating disorders were considered to be very, very high-risk patients. If there were two people with eating disorders in one hospital, they weren't allowed to talk to each other because they might make each other sicker. So Vivian really started this. It was radical. She was facing huge opposition. People were very, very adamant that this had to be handled by specialists and no one else. And she flew in the face of all of that and said, no, this is important and we're going to do it. And we've spread all over the country since then. And the research has come a very, very long way. Peer support, it's evidence-based now. There are, I won't give you all of the numbers, but there is tangible proof that it has a positive impact on people with mental health concerns. And Vivian, 45 years ago, was radical and just jumped into it. So yeah, we've come a long way since then.
Pioneers, right? I mean, our mind in those moments inside of mental health often tells us to isolate, to hide, that we shouldn't be seen by others, they wouldn't understand. And that is really part of the illness itself. So to have people starting these, no, let's come together, let's have shared experiences, let's hold space for each other. And then what you guys are doing as well, the sense of like, after recovery, you get to hold that space for others, that somebody holds that space of hope that can be so challenging when facing an eating disorder or mental health. Hope is challenging to keep, and letting others hold that for you. Whew. Community is such a big part of that. So thank you for sharing that. It's really inspirational, maybe for some of those that are listening that are thinking about, how can I help? I want to help. And there might be barriers in the way or hurdles. It's like, you just step over them and you lean in and learn and make a difference. I think that's such a beautiful way to consider that boundaries are only what we believe they are.
Yeah. We have people coming to us. All of our volunteers are recovered for at least 2 years, but we have people just who show up to groups sometimes who have been in recovery there's at least one person who's been in recovery for decades, who just wants to come and check in, be hope for someone else, be a living proof that it's possible. All of our volunteers serve as that embodiment of hope and proof that recovery is real. It's happened for all of our volunteers. It can happen for anyone.
Love that. So I'd love to hear, as I know, coming up to the symposium, if there's a speaker or a talk that you are particularly excited about.
Yeah, so I am someone who loves to move and I love data. I'm a little bit of a data nerd there. So I'm very excited by the Catherine Cook-Catrone presentation about the science behind embodied movement.
We were talking a little bit about this before. Catherine is near and dear to our heart here at Eat, Breathe, Thrive. She's our principal investigator that works on our studies. So when you said that, it was just like, I'm so excited to hear from her as well. Speaking of pioneers, her and her co-speaker are very definite pioneers. So Tracy Telka and Catherine Cook-Catrone, they are the pioneers of this work, of doing embodied work. And really challenging that belief that yoga, embodiment for eating disorders. And they're like, yes, let's go out, and have done some great work about creating the science and making it accessible for others. So I'm sure we'll have some good conversation afterwards about that and what you learned from it as well.
Yeah, definitely. And it's great because we're both providing services that are adjuncts, right? Like we're not giving people recovery on a silver platter. That's not what it looks like. But working with treatment, with professionals, it enhances the process to be in a peer support group or in a yoga for recovery class. It's just something that makes the process I don't know if easier is the right word, but it enhances it. There's more to it. There's people
Mhm.
around you who are going through the same thing. There's the community connection.
Yeah.
It's the
And
space
God,
for both ends.
it's that complementary community care. It's such, seems so simple, but that sense of working together as a community to help people with all of these human experiences that we go through, especially in mental health. I mean, none of us are alone, but we feel alone. So we could talk about that for hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Maybe not right now, but we could.
We so could. So Kristen, I also want all of the listeners to know that our networking events will have sort of a come together each day. And day one is we're focusing on the impact of the problem. So you're going to hear from speakers are going to tell you, what do we know so far about eating disorder and addiction, and really, what is the problem we're out here to solve? And I cannot imagine a better organization and person, a human being that I adore, to lead this space for our first day. And so you get to pop in, it's 30 minutes, come in, meet with other people at the symposium. And I'd love to hear from you, like what do you see for that space for that day, or what do you hope people get out of coming together at maybe a bit of a heavy day of hearing the problem? I asked my question already. What is it that you'd like to hold space for or have them get out of it?
It can be hard to hear that much about the problem. And what I'm hoping to do is to have people take a beat, process, and think about even just little things they can do to be part of the solution, offer part of the solution, start thinking outside the box, thinking about how to incorporate some of the things that they're hearing, and just maybe come out of that with a little bit of hope on how we can tackle the problem again in community together as adjuncts to the professionals, in collaboration with them, and getting creative.
Which is going to beautifully lead into our day 2 of yoga as the path to healing. So thank you for holding that space. That sounds really beautiful.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I hope I get a chance to be there. So, Kristen, I could chat with you until next year. Just campfire, just chat, and I want to be respectful of your time. So, on behalf of the Give Back Yoga Foundation, the Yoga and 12 Steps Recovery, the International Association of Yoga Therapists, and us here at Eat, Breathe, Thrive, we are honored to have you be part of helping us get this word out, holding space for our networking group, and having you there with us and doing this work every day. So thank you so much for your time and your investment in helping us share about the symposium. If this has inspired you to come to the symposium, we hope that it has, to meet with Kristen at the networking event. And you can do that by going to givebackyoga.org and booking your ticket. If there's anything around accessibility for you, please click the scholarship button right below where you pick your ticket. We've got options anywhere from $0 right up to $99 for scholarships that are designed to help anyone who wants to be with us that day be with us. Thank you again, Kristen, for being with me today.
Thank you, Melanie. It's always wonderful talking with you.
I agree.